Senate passes 13 trillion naira 2021 budget. Federal government extends deadline for obtaining national identification number. In international news, at least 40 countries shut doors against Britain as fear grows over a new variant of the coronavirus. And in sport, Super Falcons move up one spot in latest FIFA rankings.
This is ANN News.
I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) reports 356 new COVID-19 infections in the country as it confirmed 6 more deaths related to the disease. 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory shared the new infections. Abuja led with 79 new infections, followed by Lagos with 59. Kaduna posted 56, Katsina 37, and Nasarawa 30. The Presidential Task Force says the way social centers operate in Lagos could worsen the spread of the virus and swell the number of isolation center patients. The PTF says people flagrantly disobeyed laid down COVID-19 protocols and hung out recklessly. Behavior the task force says could endanger many even beyond the city. Lagos State Health Commissioner Professor Akin Abayomi has urged the residents to strictly observe precautionary measures laid down to slow transmission of the deadly virus. He said this would prevent the type of situation that led to a lockdown earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the federal government has ordered civil servants in grade level 12 and lower to work from home for the next 5 weeks. It has also mandated all schools to close until mid-January next year to ensure COVID-19 measures would take effect in the schools. And just before it set out on its Christmas holiday, the Nigerian Senate has passed 13 trillion naira 2021 appropriations bill into law on Monday after recommendation by Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Senator Jibrin Badwa. President Muhammadu Buhari had presented the proposal to the joint session of upper and lower legislative chambers in October. More than half a trillion naira had been added to the president's proposal as the exchange rate benchmark was pegged at 379 naira to $1. Crude oil production is projected at 400,000 barrels per day at $40 per barrel. House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila said the Nigerian economy is resilient and doing better than most countries despite the turbulence it had weathered. Although the Senate has passed a multi-trillion naira 2021 budget, Nigeria is reeling under a punishable economic downturn. But the country nurses high hopes of scaling through the current recession by the first quarter of the next year. Respondent Deji Badmus reports.
Nigeria's second quarter contraction, which caused the economy to slip into recession, was widely expected. But at just minus 3.62%, the scale of the contraction was quite surprising. Many had projected a much steeper contraction, but the country's fiscal and monetary authorities say the lower than expected decline is largely a result of the huge funding interventions they made to cushion the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on households and businesses.
With sustained implementation of our intervention measures, we do expect that the Nigerian economy could emerge from the recession by the first quarter of 2021. We also expect that growth in 2021 will attain 2.0%. However, downside risks remain, as restoration of full economic activities, particularly in service-related sectors, remain uncertain until a COVID vaccine is produced and made available to millions of people across the world.
The Nigerian government rolled out its economic sustainability plan back in June this year to tackle the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. The plan provides for a $5 billion stimulus package targeted at job creation, households and businesses. The central bank has so far been an important driver of the initiative, providing unprecedented funding support to various sectors of the economy.
We have seen that this has been quite impactful, particularly the targeted credit facility, which is meant for household and SMEs, because what we saw during this period is that it has helped to boost consumption spending for our SMEs. And if you know or recall that consumption constitutes over almost 70% of output, you will know that this has been very, very impactful in moderating the impact of the COVID-19 on productivity and output and GDP in our country.
The government is still coming up with more initiative and literally putting more money in the hands of the people with the hope of turning things around for the economy.
So I think the steps are the things are in the right direction, but these policies need to be complemented with other policies, just as the CBN governor said. We need to complement it with the fiscal policies. We need to address the issue of the structural issues. We need to address the issue at the ports. We also need to address the issue of logistics and all of that. So there has to be complementary policies on the fiscal side to support what is happening on the monetary side. And just as I said, we need to address the issue of the foreign exchange market.
One other good thing for Nigeria is that oil prices are gradually picking up, and that could help shore up the country's reserve and keep its currency stable. And with COVID-19 vaccine now being approved for use, some bit of normalcy may begin to return to the global economy. That, of course, would further boost the local economy here and possibly get the country off the recession as quickly as officials are predicting.
The federal government has extended its month-end deadline for telcos to block all SIM cards that are not tied to national identification numbers. The change of mind came after a meeting of the National Task Force on NIN and SIM registration in Abuja on Monday. Communications Minister Dr. Issa Pantami announced a 3-week extension till January the 19th, so subscribers would have more time to link their national identification number to their SIM. Those without NIN numbers have until February the 9th to register and link their NIN numbers with their SIM. Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigeria Communications Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, and the Director General of the National Identification Management Commission, NIMC, Aliyu Aziz, said in a statement provisions are being made to enable registrants to fully comply with COVID-19 protocols, especially the use of face masks and social distancing. CEOs of network operators also attended the meeting. Coming up, African stories. South Africa fighting to ward off devastating second wave of the coronavirus. And later, international news. At least 40 countries shut doors against Britain as fear grows over a new variant of the coronavirus.
You are watching ANN.
Susu is fine. No, she's not crying, oh. But we are watching cartoon. Ask grandma, I'm the one that used to take care of Yabo that time. Take your time.
They cry, oh, daddy, oh, daddy, oh.
I will call you back. Your daddy is calling.
Explore without limits. Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
Everybody say.
Welcome back. This is ANN News. South Africa is taking steps to ward off a devastating second wave of the coronavirus. As correspondent Angela Coppola reports, the wave has already hit the country's tourism and aviation sectors.
The airline and tourism sectors are still scrambling to make up lost ground from the first hard lockdown, and Ramaphosa's recent announcement about a second wave is concerning.
We're very nervous about the second wave. I'll be honest with you. We have seen now with the airlines having to close a little bit earlier than before the last press conference with the president. And we've seen a decrease in traffic people cancelling flights. So we're very, very nervous. We're very nervous.
I think it will kill the little businesses, the small entrepreneurs, the SMMEs would probably go under, to be quite honest, because I don't think the tourism industry would withstand any more hard lockdown. It's been tough, it's been difficult. We hope that government will support us.
The local airlines are also a little anxious. Demand has gradually picked up, but the traditional summer holiday season hasn't taken off yet.
The second wave is obviously a massive concern to everybody across the country, and it will hit our industry quite hard. I think we are certainly seeing a softening of demand as a result of that. It means quite different things for people looking to take their summer holidays now.
It's definitely been an alarm bell, I think, from a customer perspective, quite understandably. People have been scared about visiting some of the high infection rate areas, like, for example, the Eastern Cape. But there's also some resilience amongst the travelling public.
Nature booking profile has changed entirely. So people seem to be booking later, which is quite difficult to manage your schedule. And I think it's people just worrying about perhaps impending lockdowns or access to the beach. But big demand very close to departure, which is unusual. Normally a December holiday is booked way, way in advance.
The new entrant into the domestic travel market is upbeat about the industry and the future.
Likewise, we're able to downscale if we need to, if demand isn't there. So flexibility is really the key. And for us, that's the name of the game. We need to be extremely flexible, extremely agile. And we also need to create flexibility for our customers who their plans are also changing.
Algerian naval search and rescue teams have recovered bodies of 2 military officers who died in last Wednesday's military helicopter crash in the north of the country. Lieutenant Colonels El Kwafi Mohammed Lamin and Kadrusa Nuruddin died when the military helicopter went down off the city of One. The Naval Forces Command said in a statement it had mobilized for the operation 2 search and rescue helicopters, a deep-sea tugboat, a minesweeper, 3 patrol boats, 2 rescue boats, 4 brigade inflatable boats, specialized divers, and the City Protection Services. In its bid to expand its service to the entire East African region and later venture into international destinations, Uganda Airlines has begun commercial flights to Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation correspondent Rhoda Yugonzi reports.
Uganda Airlines now connects the country to neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo 3 times a week on direct flights from Entebbe International Airport. The Entebbe-Kinshasa route comes 6 months late following the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, which brought the world to a halt. Nevertheless, Flight UR880 departed Entebbe International Airport at 12:30 p.m. 18th December 2020 for its maiden trip to Kinshasa.
For your safety and comfort, my name is Philip. Up front with me this morning is my colleague Rita, who does a flight to Kinshasa.
Added to the passenger safety information are the COVID-19 SOPs.
Just take the temperature.
On touchdown at Ndijili International Airport, water cannons were in place to cap the full owners. The Ugandan delegation was led by State Minister for Works Simon Peter Lokeris, together with Uganda Airlines CEO Cornwall Mulea.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, Uganda is a great advocate of a united and accessible Africa. What we are doing here today, ce que nous faisons aujourd'hui, is a testimony of our commitment to promoting inter-Africa trade, stimulating our nation's economic growth, generating employment, pour créer de l'emploi, and facilitating movement of goods and services in Africa.
Uganda Airlines, the Entebbe-Kinshasa route offers greater connectivity.
They are starved of connectivity, especially within Africa. Our plan is to fly not only here to Kinshasa, but also to Goma and to Lubumbashi. We are offering the people of the DRC a gateway through Entebbe International Airport, where they will be able to connect not only to other parts of East Africa and Africa, but also to the Middle East, to Dubai, where we will be flying next year, to London, as well as to Guangzhou.
Air travel in the face of a pandemic has left many skeptical to fly, but Cornwall Malaya assures passengers of safe travel aboard Uganda Airlines.
Very good standard operating procedures. We are able also to make sure that across the chain, from the time the person arrives at the airports, they go through facilities which assure them of safety. And then secondly, on board our aircraft are regularly cleaned and disinfected. And as you know, the technology we use in the aircraft filtration system is that which takes out all the microbes like COVID-19. So we are confident that wherever we go, our passengers will be secure.
Despite the COVID-19 pandemic that left many aircraft on the task and in the skies and has continued to cripple many airlines, Uganda Airlines is yet again moving its pawns and targeting new destinations. Destination 9 Kinshasa is believed to up the connectivity that will in turn encourage inter-Africa trade. Rodan Gonzi for UBC News, Kinshasa.
When we return, international news. At least 40 countries shut doors against Britain as fears grows over a new variant of the coronavirus. And later, sport. Super Falcons move up one spot in latest FIFA rankings.
You are watching ANN. Somewhere in the world, every second of the day, news is happening. And of course, Nigeria is bustling with news day and night. That is why ANN doesn't sleep. Our eyes are peeled, wide open, so no story escapes our radar. We stay abreast of world events and happenings at home. We keep you up to the minute in the world of sports. We give you information to stay on top of your investments and all the hard facts you'll need to navigate your day. If you miss us on air, you can keep up to date on our website and on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. We are ANN, Africa News Network. We do news right in a truly African spirit.
Welcome back. This is ANN News. EU officials are discussing a joint response to a new infectious diseases or infectious COVID-19 variant found in the UK. The new variant had been confirmed to be up to 70% more transmissible, but no evidence of being more deadly. This new variant has caused more than 40 countries to block flights from the UK. Canada and India also joined European states in blocking flights from the UK, while European train services via the Channel Tunnel have been stopped. Sweden banned foreign travelers from Denmark after cases of the variant were discovered there. WHO Emergencies Chief Mike Ryan says the new strain is not out of control. France shut its border with the UK for 48 hours, stopping trucks and ferries from leaving the port of Dover. Countries that have banned UK arrivals include Belgium, Canada, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, Romania, Russia, and Switzerland. The US is still holding out. And some world leaders were yet to commit to the landmark nuclear deal signed with Iran in 2015 have renewed their commitments to preserving the accord. Foreign ministers of Iran, Germany, France, the United Kingdom, China, and Russia participated in a 2-hour online meeting chaired by the European Union's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell. The foreign ministers acknowledged the deal as a key element that will contribute to regional and international peace. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has promised the United States will rejoin the pact and lift sanctions once he is inaugurated in January. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas has advised Iran not to take any tactical steps that would make it difficult for Biden to reverse President Donald Trump's decision to quit the deal. A Pfizer vaccine has become the first COVID-19 shot to win approval from the EU medicines regulator. This means vaccination can start across the 27-member bloc within days. European Medicines Agency Executive Director Emma Cook says this new development is a major step in the right direction and an indication that 2021 can be brighter than 2020. Cook says the EMA scientific assessment is based on the strength of the scientific evidence on the vaccine's safety, quality and efficacy. The European Commission has provisionally designated next Sunday, Monday and Tuesday as EU vaccination days to begin the rollout of vaccination for many of the bloc's 446 million inhabitants. Cook says the agency is confident the vaccine would be effective against the new coronavirus mutation identified in the UK and seen in patients in several EU countries. And tens of thousands of Thais are getting tested after Thailand got hit by its worst COVID-19 outbreak. The new wave has been linked to the country's biggest seafood market. In an attempt to curb a further spread, the government has locked down Samut Sakhon, the coastal province near the capital Bangkok, which is home to the market that employs mostly migrant workers from neighboring Myanmar. Workers have been ordered to stay home. Thailand was the first country outside China to register cases of COVID-19. Many countries, including France, are experiencing hikes in coronavirus cases. Now, French medics are bracing for post-holiday surge in coronavirus cases. Correspondent Ross Collin reports.
Henri is suspected to be suffering from coronavirus. He lives not too far from the hospital, but he's been admitted as a precaution because he's 81 years old, and as a vulnerable person, he's being looked after while he waits for the results of his COVID-19 test. This hospital has been able to free up capacity to create special COVID-19 wards by moving non-coronavirus patients into other parts of the building. But in March, during the first wave of infections, things were very different.
The first wave came quickly and it was monstrous in terms of numbers, in terms of hospital admissions. We had people on ventilators and it was very serious. It happened so quickly and on a mass scale.
This woman has been on the COVID-19 ward for a week. She also has a neurological condition. Now she's free from the coronavirus, she's able to leave the ward and return to specialist care. This is one of two specific wards in this hospital only dealing with coronavirus patients, but there are also people suffering from COVID-19 in neurology and in intensive care. As the numbers of cases and deaths have continued to rise, one side effect has been the personal pressures on nursing staff on the front line of the fight against a new disease and a deadly pandemic.
C'est vrai que ça a été difficile. On a eu beaucoup de décès, surtout au début.
It was very hard. We had a lot of deaths, and when we go home, we have to try to sleep after dealing with all this. We were also afraid we would catch it at the start, and we didn't know if we might die if we caught it. Now we're used to it, so we're less afraid, and there's not as much fear.
This time of year is especially tough for people in the hospital who can't spend time with family and healthcare staff who have to work over the holidays. The lead nurse has made special baubles this year to recognise her colleagues' efforts. The doctors and nurses say they're ready for a third wave in the new year, but warn that despite their preparations, a surge in post-holiday cases would place renewed pressure on a hospital system that is fast approaching a whole year of dealing with the pandemic.
Up next, sport. Super Falcons move up one spot in latest FIFA rankings. Please stay with us.
You are watching ANN.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN, Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
Welcome back. This is ANN News. In sport, Super Falcons have moved up one spot in the latest FIFA Women's ranking of champions. Are now ranked 37th, still maintaining the top position in Africa. The down-table Lioness of Cameroon remain in 51 position in the world and second in Africa. Super Eagles former attacker Daniel Amokachi has criticized the Nigeria Football Federation for allowing a $2 million compensation clause in Ghana Football's contract. Amokachi says the NFF does not treat Nigerian coaches as well as Raw is being treated despite not winning anything yet. He says Olise and Amunike have better pedigree and portfolio than Raw, who was appointed coach of the Super Eagles in 2016, following Sunday Olise's resignation as manager of the national team. That is ANN News this evening. Thank you for joining us. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Have a pleasant evening.